What's up? I'm Wally, and I've consumed enough caffeine to kill a man. Today we're talking about the new A24 movie Friendship. This movie stars Paul Rudd, Mr. Slap at the Bass himself, and Tim Robinson from the show I Think You Should Leave. I was able to get an early access ticket to the wide release for this movie. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm a huge fan of Tim Robinson's work. I've definitely seen a few episodes of I Think You Should Leave, and the few that I have seen have been really funny. His humor definitely has an acquired taste and might not be for some people. For the most part, I went into this movie blind. I think I saw just one trailer for this movie at all. The duo of Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson immediately sold me. I gotta say, this is one of the funniest movies I've seen in the last year, maybe more. There were so many moments in this film that had my face hurting from how hard I was laughing. I brought someone with me to see this movie, and I was kind of worried that they weren't going to be into the style of humor that Tim Robinson gives, but even they were laughing their heads off right next to me. Paul Rudd has always had really good comedic performances, especially in movies like I Love You Man. He just brings a charisma to the screen that makes me want to watch everything he's in. Tim Robinson is at his absolute best here. Some of the things he does in this movie I've never seen before in a comedy film. His timing, his execution, just everything about his performance was just absolute gold. As per usual, I don't want to spoil any actual plot points of the movie, but I will say that it's not all haha the entire time. There are actually some movies that are sweet, sad, embarrassing. And on the note of embarrassment, if you suffer from secondhand embarrassment, this movie might be a little hard to get through. That aside, from front to back, I enjoyed the heck out of this movie. The story and the plot were very silly and definitely reminded me of I Think You Should Leave. I also want to shout out Kate Mara, as her performance was great as well. One thing I did want to mention without spoiling anything is there is a character in this movie that has very little screen time but uses it to the absolute best of their ability. When you watch this movie, I think you'll know who I'm talking about. I think the only downside with this movie with me was the second act of the film. Although I understand the movie wasn't trying to be nothing but laughs the entire time, the change in mood in the second act just took me out of the experience a little bit. But eventually the movie does get you laughing again. This movie reminded me a lot of Napoleon Dynamite, which is my favorite comedy movie of all time. I think that almost every line in Napoleon Dynamite is hilarious, but there's this underlying tone of loneliness that exists through the entire film. Friendship definitely has that kind of loneliness theme to it, but even having that theme of loneliness, the movie is still hilarious for the most part. I think this film was well executed, and I'm really glad that they made it. If you're a fan of Tim Robinson, what are you doing? Just go watch this. If you're a comedy fan, you really can't miss this one. I'm anticipating a pretty short theater run for this movie, and I highly recommend you guys go and support it. I think at the end of the day, this movie is going to be pretty underrated, but is eventually going to become one of my favorite comedies of all time. I did end up rating this film a really strong 4 on Letterboxd. As much as I liked the movie, the second act was just a little too slow for me. And as funny as the third act was, it wasn't enough to pull it over the edge to that 4.5 or 5-star mark. Now keep in mind, this is just my personal rating. You should take it with a grain of salt. I'm sure a lot of you guys will enjoy it a lot more, and there's going to be a lot of you guys that hate this movie. But whichever side of the aisle that you sit on, I think that this is a movie everyone should definitely check out. For those of you that watched it, let me know what your thoughts are. Was my rating fair? I'm excited to see what you guys think, and as always, argue with me in the comments.